Welcome to my playthrough of my favorite game to ever exist. It's I Wanna Be htbtlotffl, made by this beautiful human. This is the greatest game of all time. Very short and has a concise selection of screens, as you can tell. Close your eyes if you don't, want spoilers. But oh, I didn't know that exists. But it's a medley game. And I love medley games. It's on this beautiful website called construct.com. It's kind of like Tinker's Construct from Minecraft, but nothing like that at all. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, we can full screen. And actually, I don't prefer that. How about we just do this shit? It just looks horrible. Okay, close your eyes. This is more spoilers. Do we need this many difficulties? Violet techno, blue trance, sign reggae, yellow afro house, gray epic triumph of the guy. Level 13. Okay, I reckon I'll play I do very hard. Okay, it doesn't seem to work. Continue. Which one of these? Alright. Is that loud? If it's loud, I'll turn it down. I don't like how loud it is. Okay. So I have a horrible engine. Canceling does not work. There is no numpad. Oh boy. I've certainly got myself into an experience here. I don't think I'm gonna be doing very hard actually, because this seems very bad. So I've changed my mind. You can get this game for free, by the way, at construct.net. I'll put this link in the description if you want to play this beautiful game. Oh, it even saves. Great, now I gotta restart the game. Apparently the creator has been working on this for what seems to be about, I don't know, about 100 trillion years. I'm not sure. Let me just look here. Yeah, if you look at these videos, been on it for a while. Just does some IQ tests, that's pretty normal. About 3,000 videos. Seems about right. I'll do hard, please. Okay. Uh-huh. That makes sense. Okay, your for some reason your double jump is higher than your normal jump, which is normal for a Fang game. I played many Fang games with that. It makes sense actually. And this pathing, I've seen it before. I think this might be used in, I don't even want to say anything. My fucking god. Are corners possible in this? Because I'm really struggling. Пожаловать. Я хочу... умер. Чё ебать? Чё ебать? Это Ховчик? The base legend is back. You can do corners. Exciting. Should make more needle. Careful what you wish for. Okay. Nah, I gotta look up a clear. Okay, that's horrible. I'm sorry to report, but that's awful. Yes, you have a nice constant V speed, so you don't have to worry about any V-string shenanigans. Because that really bugged me about playing games. I just hated V-strings, man. They just ruin everything. And like the fact that the spike hitboxes are like accurate, shit, I just couldn't stand that. Okay, and also the fact that there's no sliding in fan games, like I just felt so unrealistic. Because if you're running this fast, like comparative to your size, you should always be sliding. Like this should be a fact, right? And it's surprising that more fan games don't incorporate permanent ice physics into their needle. Because I think it would be like an overall improvement on needle, really. Or at least that's just my opinion, though. You don't have to take my opinion as fact, but I solely believe that. Maybe not solely, currently solely, but maybe someone else should take up on this opinion that you should have these like really good sliding physics in all things. I think they should make a fork of Verve engine maybe, and then normalize that. That'd be really nice. Alright, I don't understand how to do this. Okay, so he just jumps for it. I'm not sure. Okay, can you not put precision needle? Actually, no, I love precision needle. I love a random, really difficult jump at the end of a save. And especially in the first screen of the game, I think that's kind of unique. Not many games really do that. Yeah, it's just I don't think it's been seen before. Might be a natural one frame, but I don't know if natural one frames are really supported in this beautiful engine on Construct. Oh yeah, okay. It's like a one frame or a two frame, which is kind of refreshing because I didn't know frames were really a concept in this alternate universe. I just thought we permanently existed in this parallel dimension that I would like to colloquially call Jahannam. If you don't know what Jahannam means, you can look it up. You can spell it however you want. It's probably gonna appear. It's a pretty famous word. So I'd like to get to know the lore of this world, Jahannam, that I'm currently in, apparently. And my way out is quite long, and not easy, per se. So I'm very excited to explore it and get to know it. With various medley picks, such as I Want to See the Sky, with no save. Never mind, there's an autosave, that's fine. Alright, some pretty good difficulty balance. You gotta have a backtrack always. Alright, platforms. I like platforms that serve little purpose like this. What was that horrible jump? It sounded like a... Sorry, what was that beautiful sound? It sounded like a burp. Sorry, I'm just getting too caught up. Alright. Maybe the game is having acid reflux syndrome. Which is normal. Yeah, many people have that. I think I might have that. We don't need to judge. Alright, I'm not sure how the hitboxes work, but that's okay. Because we will learn together on this experience. Alright, we don't. The block clipping is fine, I think. Corners also just, you know, we can just sprinkle those in wherever. Okay, and you always gotta go back. You always gotta go back, no matter what. Okay, we thought of that, I think. I just really like some of the setups that this game has going on. And some of the needle, it's very fresh and new. I'm wondering, can I save? Well, I guess we'll never know, but okay. So this is Arc Fox Needle, a game that I played. I don't see how he's gonna turn this one into a backtrack, but that is for me to see. Alright, I'm not sure how this jump is done. Alright, apparently the hitboxes are rather forgiving, due to the very interesting slide physics going on. Which I'm loving, by the way. Really gives it an interesting air. Well, I mean, this isn't air, this is Arc Fox Needle, but regardless, I think it's quite a new take on the needle experience. You have multiple paths as well, which is quite interesting. And one song is like really all you need, because what else are you really gonna listen to other than the one song? I keep forgetting that my jump heights are swapped. It's another really interesting idea that is really not explored too often. I think it's in a few Chaos games. Not like random Chaos, but Chaos mods rather. Rather interesting as an idea, conceptually. Alright, so far we're doing good. Nice setup there. I've never seen a setup quite like that. Ah, unlucky. We'll have to start from the beginning. Seems like I've lost my life. In more ways than one. I will say this UI is very unique. I've never seen a UI like this one, where the information is simply displayed on screen, which would usually be in the game window, or in the title of the game window. But I guess here we don't really have a game window, so we're really left with no choice. And oftentimes being left with no choice is what breeds innovation. And innovation is really, I think, the best way I can describe this game. It's rather... it's new. It's a breath of fresh air is the simplest way I can put it. Breath of fresh Novokuznetsk air. Alright, beautiful. Strong Spike. A game that you've most certainly played, or at least heard of. Pretty faithful recreation to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure I have this game in my favorites on next.delfruit.com. I heard the news site's doing pretty well. I think I might get into speedrunning this game sometime. Because I'm finding some of the needle to be very unique. I hope there's bosses in it. But something tells me that a game like this simply does not need a boss fight to be interesting. It simply relies on its fundamentals, which are clearly very strong. It appears I'm trying to do a 5 frame for a gate that's spaced away 1 block, which actually isn't the right input for a gate that's spaced 1 block away. Right input would be a 7 frame. Yeah, or whatever frame that is. I think that's like a 7 frame. Maybe a 6 frame. Perhaps a fork of this game should be created with its physics, and maybe call it htbtlotffl tool. So I can practice some of the harder needle jumps in this game. Where's my save? Fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. This should be a family-friendly playthrough of a beautiful video game created by likely God himself. Blood, sweat, and tears was poured into this game if the maker would have blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm afraid the maker is a deity of some sort. I don't know who is listed as the creator, but as I'm not affiliated or have any idea what this site is or how it works, but you know, discovering is what makes playing video games or having experiences in general interesting. Because you get to learn new things about not just the world around you, but yourself as well. And that is what I think this game is really shining in. A unique experience above all. Very fit for a Let's Play, I believe. Very nicely divisible into parts. This may be part 1 of many, because I am really fighting the urge to come back to this game. Even if I haven't quit yet, I already know I'm going to be back. In the off chance that I do end up, you know, just temporarily pausing my playthrough. Because I believe there will be a lot more of interest in this game. The slide physics are really innovative here. Trying to think of a way to counteract the effect of the sliding, which is hampering my, enabling me to struggle with some of the needle platforming in this experience. This may be another situation like Roblox, where you were legally not allowed to call them games. But I think this is more than a game. Nice V-string. I did not know V-strings were a requirement, but it appears they are. Alright. This is another game that I've played. Lunatic the L Needle. Definitely a game which is slept on due to its, you know, sheer quality. Or we seem to be in the area of precision needle, which is definitely going to be quite interesting with the physics here at hand. They seem to be very fit for precision needle. And they are very good. I like this game. It's very I don't know. It's something new, if I haven't said that already. It's a new take on a classic genre. I think that you can farm deaths. Perhaps there's an achievement of some sort. That would be rather interesting, an achievement system. And dying on a certain screen a certain amount of times would give you an achievement. I think that would be cool. I think a numpad would be lovely here. But that's not exactly required. Nor is the the Z to save mechanic. You actually have to make your bullet collide with the save. Which, you may see it as something that old engines do, but I see it as something that should be brought back. Same for collision order. I don't think collision order is actually that important. Like, collision order is sort of massively overrated in the world, I believe. Alright, so we seem to be caught in a bit of a loop. Because the player does not start with a double jump, it seems. So I will need to see how I'm going to get myself out of this situation. Give me a moment. Just give me a second. Just a moment. Okay, we're back. We're back. Sorry for that minor interruption. I believe that was a space-time continuum phenomenon where something happened that actually didn't happen. You should look it up. It's called quantum tunneling. It's a aberration of existence that may have just occurred. And you might be asking, how do I know that it just occurred? Well, I think I'm the one who caused it, therefore I must know. Now let's try to not make a aberration of time here. Okay, I think we've successfully avoided that. I was just going on about how great this game is, and how its physics are an interesting fit for a precision game. Because of how uniquely they feel. I quite remember this jump being rather preposterous. Here it's very nice and lenient. Which is maybe a nice change because the original game is quite difficult. Of course, nothing that an elite gamer such as myself can't, complete after doing what seems to be infinite IQ tests. I think the R key does not work in this game, but that's fine. Auto restart is a thing that should have been implemented years ago because what do you really get out of not restarting? Like, what are you gonna do? Review your gameplay? You're gonna look at what's ahead while you're dead? No, that's ridiculous. Okay. What's going on here? Seem to have some sort of following gimmick. I'm sure a YouTube tutorial was watched on this, on how to create an effect such as this. That's got a little bit of a issue with restarting, but it's fine. It's nothing we can't fix. We seem to have encountered a difficulty spike on, I can't see what that says. I want to be the 4 seasons. A game which is not everyone's favorite, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be. It's a very unique game that should be celebrated for a variety of its own reasons, with very innovative needle design that many games simply do not possess. If you want an extensive opinion on this, I believe you can attribute the current owner of the Needle FSR, which is Seth Dash, because he is very knowledgeable on 4 seasons, and he believes that it's one. Oh Jesus! It's one of the. I mean, which is what a beautiful sound effect, that's what I meant. He believes it's one of the better games on the, almost at Hall of Fame, but he believes it's one of the better games on the Needle FSR, so if you really want to get a good taste of the Needle FSR experience, you should definitely check out Four Seasons. And taking inspiration from a game as, you know, creative as it, is just a sign of really intelligence as a maker, and just knowing that making apt decisions, or just like the ability to make apt decisions, is something which is very important, and I feel is very isn't very talked about when it comes to making. I've seen various bad decisions in game making, and I've really thought about, you know, what the, you know, as AVGN says, what were they thinking? You know, but I realized that I sort of now understand what they were thinking, and that it's all simply a balancing act between knowing and not knowing. The fact that we know and the fact that we don't know is what makes our experience unique. Jump refreshers, I mean, just the word itself is so, it breathes uniqueness. Because personally, I've played a lot of Needle games, and every single one that had jump refreshers was a 9 or higher. So this is on a very good path forward. Alright, there seems to be some handling going on, which may lead to my jump being exhausted due to unknown reasons. I believe that it is due to the fact that I can hold to use a jump refresher, which I always thought it was annoying that you had to press shift while, like, after you get them. It just made more sense if you could just instantly jump when you get them. It would just really clear up some confusion on how they work. I just think it would be very nice if they did that in all games. Because I think after I get used to it here, I don't think I'll ever be able to go back. Because, you know, why would you? Whoa. Now that's new. That is definitely something that I've not seen before. A trap. Alright, I think I'm going to have to do some research on this. On how this trap of sorts works. From the maker himself. Alright, there seems to be no trap in his version of the game. The cycles also don't restart on death, which is quite creative. It disallows, you know, cheap timing, which is always an issue. Like, you don't want people sort of cheesing things you make. It will be just kind of annoying, and it discredits your effort that you put in as a maker. I heard that setups are also very fun with ice physics, or sorry, sliding. To my knowledge, this background usually moves, but the fact that it doesn't here is sort of a unique spin on it. It's again not a thing I've seen before, but you know, how did people feel when, you know, Leonardo da Vinci came around and he started, you know, making things that no one has ever heard of? You know, he was seen as insane. Do we still consider him a great, not just an artist, but a, you know, a scientist, an inventor after all? Of course, and that's how I sort of liken this game to the creations of Leonardo da Vinci, where the creator, Dano Randan, is, I think, a modern day, perhaps base legend of the major variety. I figured out something to do with the walls. I think they may often give alignments, but not aligns, due to the sliding. Which is kind of unique. What do I do here? Okay, there seems to be no resources on how this works, so we will have to engage in an exercise of discovery. Which, you know, again, everything is really about self-discovery in this game. If that wasn't clear enough. Definitely a most unique way of saving progress on a backtrack. It's quite. I don't know if I've seen it before. Definitely not. Maybe for good reason. You have to sort of be careful to actually hit these jump refreshers because they're rather small. You can very easily miss them, which is another issue I had, that I always accidentally picked them up. I think being able to miss them is sort of. It's refreshing, you know. It's just like not a thing that happens, which isn't a bad thing, not at all. I think it's it allows for more creative needle. Okay, that's also natural occurrence. The art of the choke is something that is not artichoke, art of the choke for audio listeners, because and frankly, audio listeners are missing out because of the glorious visual element to this game, which should never cease to be ignored. I believe I've made the mistake of trying to use fan game logic again, which in a case like this, you simply just can't rely on it because it's so avant-garde. Okay, we have reached a new epoch. I want to kill the key. I can't say I've heard of this one either. I mean, definitely a new game, and an interesting way of preventing skips. And another thing that I really like is the lack of song variety, which sounds like an oxymoron. Of course you want more song variety, right? But when a game has too many songs, you just like start forgetting all of them. But if a game has one song, like you know the song from, I don't know. Well, you know some song that is very like used for a long time in a fan game. You can think of at least like 5. And if you can't, like, can you really even consider yourself like a fan game player? I wouldn't. I would be considering myself a fraud if I can't name myself, or I can't name at least 5 very looping and very well-known fan game songs. 5 is just a minimum. I feel like you should be able to name at least like 15 on the intermediate level, and upwards of like maybe 100 if you really want to call yourself experienced. And I'm far from experienced, as you can tell by my rookie understanding of this game and its innate ideas. And its core premise isn't entirely... It's very foreign to me because it's just something new that I haven't quite seen yet. That was a great performance from me. Another classic backtrack because, you know, a screen is bad if you just play it once and are done with it. You know, why would you not put triggers that are missable? Because, you know, it reminds the player to be cautious. But also, why would you not have a screen that is played at least twice? Because that way it will stick in your memory more. For better, not for worse. If you thought for worse, then you are not the target audience for this game. And frankly, I don't know what you're currently doing, but I urge you to play this game and see for yourself, because I believe it will open your eyes to the true values of life. I believe I've mastered that. Okay, another game. I want to be the development. Nice brown tone. Really goes with the green. It's sort of the famous tree set. And here we have one of the most beautiful aspects of these games. The simple idea of having two pathways, a branch, a bifurcation in one's destiny, is such a unique idea that simply put, you will not see anywhere else. And it's an idea that can be played with, and really it can be pushed to its limits, which I don't want to say it has been yet, because I believe there is more that can be done with this idea. I don't mean to say that in like a bad way. I think that there's definitely potential with, you know, I like to call it bifurcation or bifurcation. The layman may just call it a branching path, but to be a layman and play this game seems a bit ridiculous. Alright, so here we have I Want to Be the Gay. Another game renowned for its needle. Alright. Pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. Haha. Isn't that funny? And also, you gotta have a little bit of humor in your game like this. Like, this is just the creator showing that they can pull off even such a silly screen like this. Like, come on, no Camellia, no PD player is going to put. Sorry, I'm just caught off guard by the song change. Is going to put such a blatant joke into their games. It's just not an appearance, and if it is an appearance, it's very rare, and I have not encountered it many times. Which is, for sure, one of the deciding factors for my enjoyment of this game so far. I wonder if this game allows cactuses. And a expected change of scenery with the new musical track has appeared. And a obvious difficulty spike has, you know, arrived, as you can see, with the you know, sharp precision, or the sharp increase in difficulty that we've seen here. It's a constant reminder of it's of a player's the sliding off is really a thing that can remind one of their sort of inadequacy and a sign to step up their game. Obviously, here I was silly for trying to choose the right path, because it is very clearly not intended. Because what reason does it have to be intended when there are more interesting paths at play? Thankfully here V-speed is not it's not a variable that necessarily changes that much or that dynamically in a gravity-like fashion. It seems to be more of a like a fluid motion that isn't very reactive. Not a bad thing though, not at all. Another case of, I guess, fan-game brain rot is my idea that first of all, my idea of pathing is just completely thrown out the window by the, allowance, by the enabling of crazy jumps like you're seeing here. Some of which being trivial on traditional fan-game physics, because we're not going back to that. And when put in comparison with these, I wouldn't even call it a fan game. I would call it htbtlotffl game physics. I think that there should be a new genre of fan games, but they're not I want to be the guy fan games, because when you say fan games, you're usually thinking of I want to be the guy fan games. A new genre should appear of fan games of htbtlotffl, and that should become the new norm for most things created from now on. And you should probably ditch that game maker shit, because it just seems kind of outdated. This is like a new site with a lot of clearly active user base, would really promote a lot of like new community members to appear, which would just be sort of like as a renaissance of sorts. And then, pardon me, I'm just startled by the sound effects of this game. Alright, this is a very good pick. And definitely a most unique medley choice. Which it sounds like I'm saying it ironically, but no, I actually really like this game. It's pretty much only used in Camellia 2, which is a shame because it's a very innovative game. Just simplicity, really, is rather, I should say simplicity is the downfall of Destination, because it's so simple that it does nothing interesting. This, however, it sort of takes the boringness of a classic Destination screen and turns it on its head to bring this, which is, simply put, fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. With the new gimmicks, or rather the old gimmicks, coming back to, for another rendezvous, is really unique. with some interesting pathing, of course, because you can't really, you have to keep the player on their toes pretty much, or on the edge of their seat pretty much always. I like to see some consistency screens from time to time. Considering I've had 902 deaths so far, 903 deaths. It's 904 deaths. It's a bit of a change because, you know, you don't want to just have a full game filled with precision, because no one is going to play that. Like, get real. You think precision games do well nowadays? They're very much old fan game, and now we're into new fan game. Capital F fan game, by the way. And really, you should be celebrating this game as a new rebirth, to say, a renaissance of sorts. This game is a rather controversial pick for obvious reasons. .32 pixel needle is a very good genre, which sort of doesn't live up to expectations nowadays. Because what is expected of 30 pixel games is to do something new. You know, every single game has to innovate something, but I think officially, I think we've sort of hit a ceiling with that, with this game. And I just sort of cease to believe that any new creation can be made from this game, because it's so insightful, and it makes me very happy playing it. I think you should go play this game now, and tell me what you think in the comments, guys. Spread some positivity. If you've watched this entire video, I'm very sad for you, because I think I've fallen into a more depressive state than in which I was earlier. So I guess, yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you played along. That's encouraged, of course. And I'll see you in the next Let's Play. I'll do this once again in a couple of years.